When you're evaluating your quarterbacks, what are the things that you're looking for them to achieve in the spring?
Well, you know, right now, like today, all we're doing is installing plays, and they're working basically the technique of what they need to do on each play, and so that it's a long-term evaluation that has to do with consistency as much as anything else. Consistency of doing the right thing, making good decisions, completing passes, accuracy. So it's a conglomerate of all those parts that, you know, are real important. You know, I think one of the clearest, most common denominators in winning is not turning the ball over. So the quarterbacks, obviously, as they go through taking care of the football, making the right choices, and still having the guts to throw the ball. You know, that's, you know, it's easy to not throw an interception and take a sack. You
Coach,
know,
have you seen any improvement out of Richie Harrington since last year?
You know, not yet. You know, I'm sure he has. I think that there's no doubt he's worked hard in the weight room. He's changed his body, and he's doing pretty well. So, you know, as far as it's improvement, we'll see it more as we get into some interaction and competition and see him under fire a little bit.
Coach, without getting into any performance stuff, when you look at Brandon Cooks and Rashad moving on without their counterparts, how do you get the sense that they're preparing for a bigger role?
You know, that's going to be one of the key issues, really, and it's pretty neat because those two kids will have more on their shoulders because of the departure of guys like Wheaton and Poyer. I mean, we got a lot of catching up to do to make all the plays that Poyer and Wheaton made for the Beavers. So, you know, they and these two guys, they'll have a bigger burden, and I think they're really ready to carry it.
Talk about replacing some of the production that Jordan Poyer managed to put forth last season. So, what do you think of Sean Martin and Steven Nelson at this point?
You know, I think it's too early to say too much. I'm very impressed with them physically as far as the shape they're in and how they look and how they handle their body right now, and they obviously work very, very hard. Sean's, we've known him for a long time. He's a very conscientious guy, and I think is anxious to compete for a spot. And Steven Nelson appears to be one of us. I mean, he's a hard worker, great guy, and appears to have a lot of ability. But again, that's going to be a long-term evaluation. That you know, we want to see over a period of time. One of the most important qualities in a football player is consistency, and so we have to find out who we can rely on the most, and who we can help make players. We need more depth. You know, we need 4 or 5 guys that can play there, and right now I only know of one. So we got a lot of work to do.
Mike, you know, last year's storm in spring, that was Stormwood's kind of coming out party.
Yeah.
This year we're going to take a step forward and progress in his starting role. Do you see a difference in his attitude this year?
Yeah, he's a much more confident guy. And Storm, I think all of his personality's kind of coming out. He's fun, you know, and that all was, you know, I think he can be a real leader for this team. And I think the other thing that's really a fact is that Teron Ward is competition now. He's a good player, and I feel real good about it, and I'm anxious to see Chris Brown. I think Chris has got a lot of talent, so we could end up with, again, 3 good running backs like we had. We miss Malcolm Agnew right now, and hopefully we won't by the time we get to the fall.
Mike, what into bring in Kyle DeDan at the tight end coach? I mean, he's an offensive lineman all this time. So
you know, he's worked with us as a GA before he went back and played, and I was just very, very impressed with him. You know, I think he's going to be a great coach.
How much guidance do you or any other coaches have to teach tight ends?
Well, you know, I think that the neat thing about him is a lot of the stuff that we teach linemen, we teach tight ends as far as blocking. His main learning curve is going to be on the pass receiving end of it, and that's Danny Langsdorff. Our job to help with the tight end transition into the passing game, and that's where Kyle's got probably the most to learn.
And is that a worry because before this spring you said, hey, I want to improve the passing game of the tight end?
It's not at all, because we, you know, a lot of the times when it is about passing, we're basically, you know, the tight ends are with Danny or they're with Brent Brennan, and that won't be a factor.
Thanks, Mike.
You're welcome.